Boom, we are back with another edition of the Quarantinecast. I am joined by a familiar face, Carlos Lozoya. How you doing?
Doing good, Sergio. Good to be back on, man.
Sweet, man. Last time we talked, I know it was like you were finishing up your military duties and you're planning on moving across the country and doing a lot of big things this year. Where does the military duties stand? Are you complete? What do you have left?
So I'm actually cleaning some gear right now. It's in the washer as we speak, but I'm just clearing. I have like literally a week left, and then next week Friday, I'll get like my papers saying that I'm out of the military. So I have like one last week, of dealing with the military,
How,
which is
uh, how long?
exciting.
How long do you serve?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And man, it's all happening so fast. You're finishing up your military duties, and you've got to fight like right afterwards.
Yeah.
How do you manage both? Fight camp, finishing up your military duties, and also planning on your big move across the country.
Yeah, I know, man. It's so busy, but I just make it work. I think the biggest thing for me was just fixing small things and just like really working my cardio, because I know I think that's where this fight's gonna go. Is who has the best cardio? Because I know my jujitsu's more than my grappling's more than great enough to like I don't have to train grapple, which I am every day, but if I just want to jump into this fight, just doing conditioning, I think I'd be fine with that too. But no, I'm still training. I train in the evening. I like I like clear out during the morning slash afternoon with military. It's just been busy, man. It's like it's been really busy, but I've been trying to make it work. So
Big fight coming up, man. Ricky Steele at the end of the month. How are you feeling going into it?
feel confident. I feel real good about Ricky. Um, I know it'll be like a tough fight. It'll probably be pretty gritty, but I feel really good about it, honestly, man. I'm excited for the fight. There's something about like when you fight a higher level of competition, it brings out another level in you. So that's what I feel right now. I feel really good about it.
You had a tune-up, I'd say a tune-up fight, but he was very, very good in Steven Steyerwalt just a few months ago after such a long layoff. How did that fight feel? And going in, I guess, do you feel like that fight is important leading into this one?
So with Styrewall, I felt like I didn't want to pull the trigger because there's a few times in that fight where I definitely could have finished it, but I didn't because I wanted to be safe. And I think this fight, I'll definitely be looking more for like a finish. And I think I think the longer this fight goes, uh, the more dangerous it gets for Ricky. But no, it's like I don't feel any pressure about like fighting Ricky. I feel oddly really relaxed about this fight, and even Styrewall, I was like more nervous actually, just because I had a long layoff, and it was my first fight after my two knee surgeries. So no, I feel good, man. I feel really confident. I just feel ready. I'm ready to like fight and then move out to the east and start there.
I know that was one of the things we talked about is that move to the East Coast. It's happening right afterwards, but how excited are you to go out East Coast? Joe Lozon, I know, is there, and what's it going to be like for you out there?
So I'm trying to like map out the schedule like out here. I think it's gonna be easier when I get there. But I'll actually be helping out with Joe's jujitsu program when I get over there, and then I'll be helping out with another jujitsu program that's like I think it's called Lakeville Martial Arts. I'll be helping out with two jujitsu programs when I get down there, and then I mean they have like I think his name's Josh Levine. He's a what's the kickboxing high level? Is it K1 or is it?
K1.
Yeah, he fights in Glory. There you go. Fights
Glory.
in Glory. He
Right.
so we'll be getting work with him, and then they have a strength and conditioning there. Bernard Faria's gym's like right down the street from me, so I think I'll just be like kind of gym hopping everywhere, and just still training. Pretty much what I do down here, just over in the east. But I'm excited, man. I got good people down there, so I'm really excited to move down to the east, and then plus my wife, she's going to school, so we're gonna make it work. It'll be fun.
You're also a black belt. What did it feel to get that black belt after years of work?
Bro, it felt good. No, it was definitely a lifelong achievement, man. And then to get it with Bruno Malfacine, man, that was pretty cool. Um, just because my instructor, he wasn't high enough ranking to promote me, so then they flew over Bruno Malfacine to so I can get promoted. But no, it was awesome, man. And I got to roll with Bruno after, which was lots of fun. So that guy is so quick.
Yeah,
But,
man, it's a lot of work. I'm still working away to get my first stripe, so
oh, okay, congrats, man.
it's fun.
My wife, she's working now. She did her first open mat this weekend. So,
Yeah, man, it's a blast. I'm obviously a little bit late to the game, but man, you learn so much so quickly. So congratulations on the black belt. Congratulations on your big move. Um, who have been the main training partners going into this one?
so I have a few guys out in Warrior String. Probably I would say Arslan, um, Snap, Arslan. I mean, he's like kind of like a 45, 55er, really athletic dude. Judo guy. Albert, he fights at 170. I mean, just Albert's good, man. I like sparring with him. He's fun. I mean, his record, he's 7-1, but he's like he's good. He's really fun to go with. Henry, he's like a Venezuelan national champion for sambo. So and then I'll train with Micah Brown. He runs like a little group of guys in over his place. Very high level striking. He it's funny because like there's not a lot of like the way there is jujitsu. The high level like the people that can break down. Um, Not really like anyone can show you an armbar, but like the concepts of like position and whatnot, like you don't get that a lot in striking. Like in striking, you find a lot of like, all right, well, today we're gonna do 1, 2, 3 low kick, and then you get that kind of instruction a lot in striking. But like Micah gives you the concepts of striking, so uh, I get work with Micah a lot, and then I do a lot of jujitsu and grappling and alliance with James Johnson. He was a Greco all American, like a lot. He's a really good Greco. He wrestled for the Army. I think he's like a 10-time All American or something like that. But he's nasty with Greco. And then just yeah, I train everyone. Joey Elza, he's about to fight for Fury in like 2 weeks from now. He's a 25er/35er, so my weight. But I think he's 6-1, 6-1. Very good, tough guy. But no, I just train with pretty much everyone, man. Those are like top people I can think of, though. But yeah,
That's something we talked about in the past too. Was your weight? I mean, you can make 135 pretty easily.
yeah.
125 is just you can make that as well. Have you thought about maybe making that move to 125? And what's the reason for sticking around at 135?
So 135. The only reason I wanted to stay at 135 was just because those are the only fights I was ever offered. Because I'd look for 125 fights all the time, but actually, luckily, I got very lucky, and Fury through Joey Elza, he hooked me up with the promoter for Fury, and I'll be fighting for Fury at 125, September 12th, I believe. So that'll be my first 125 fight, and then I think after that I'm gonna stay at 125. So I'll be finally getting a fight at 125. So I'm really excited. But
There we go, man. I'm
yeah,
excited.
yeah, super excited.
One of your former opponents, I know last time we talked about it, it's something that you said, everyone mentions it, Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
But there's a recent tweet that went around. Piotr Jan tweeted about your guys' fight and about how he quit during your guys' fight. What was it like getting that kind of exposure from the champ?
Dude, it's funny because it's I don't even think that's probably the no actually that probably was the highest exposure I got from like about that fight. But even before that, like I mean, Sean just been a big name like ever since the Contender Series. Ever since he knocked that one guy out on the Contender Series, and with like Snoop Dogg going O'Malley, O'Malley. Ever since then, like people have always been bringing it up. So I feel like I've always gotten that exposure because of that fight, which is funny because like I'm getting exposure because of somebody else, and it makes me feel shitty. But it whatever. But I just think it's funny. I think it's funny because maybe one day, like when I'm in the UFC and uh, they're like, oh, Lozoya fought O'Malley back in the day as an amateur, and then people were like, oh yeah, Peter Yan tweeted that. So I just think it's cool. It's funny. It's good exposure for me. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what happened with Chris Moutinho. Like his followers like times by like 100 overnight.
Yeah, I know. 100,000 people literally in like 2 days.
Yeah,
So following.
he's over there on the East Coast. Is that something you've looked at as well? Maybe Chris Moutinho or guys like that to be able to train
Yeah,
with?
he actually trains with Lozon a lot. But he mostly trains out in more closer to Rhode Island, and I think the gym's called like Regiment Training
Yeah,
with Mitch, the kid that's on Ultimate Fighter.
Mitch
And,
Raposa. Yeah.
yeah, he's also there with and then Rob Font, I think's there too. But yeah, they train over in Regiment, but they both also come to Joe's quite often. So I'll probably see them here soon. I didn't get to see them last time I went out to Boston, but I'm sure like when I move out there and start training around everywhere, I'll probably get to train with Chris and Mitch a lot, and I'm sure Chris would be like, "Oh yeah, I heard about you before too." But yeah, that Chris kid's tough as nails, man. Oh my god. I didn't expect him to honestly like I didn't expect him to be there for like 3 rounds, and I think that I don't want to say the tide was turning, but he did have some momentum coming into that third, and that was a good fight. It was a really good fight.
It was, man. I think it's the green hair. Like I think if you just dye your hair green, it
Yeah,
instantly
you
makes it a little bit tougher.
you dye your hair, you get plus 20 strength, plus 20 strength and plus 80 cardio.
I love it, man. We'll go back to your fight coming up, man. I know you're feeling good. You're feeling excited. For people who haven't seen you fight, what can they expect?
I think they can expect, especially for this fight. I think it's going to be, I don't want to say a lot of back and forth, but I think it's going to be like very surprising to them. Like, I don't think Ricky's all that great, but I think it's going to be a grind for Ricky. I think it's going to be a huge grind for Ricky, and I think it'll be a fight that makes me look good. So and then I think my cardio, my conditioning is really going to shine. So I'm just a grinder. I'm like Chris, but like grappling. So yeah.
And then one last question here: is there anybody you want to thank, any sponsors or social media you want to plug before we end it?
Yeah, actually, James, he runs a CBD company, Grind 3. He actually recently sponsored me. Gary Webb, he's actually helped me out financially, so thank you, Gary. Big shout out to you. Belton, he sponsors me throughout training over at Warrior Strength. Thank you very much, Coach. Micah Brown, probably one of my biggest sponsors, been sponsoring me for years with free training, and I love him to death. A good guy. Those are probably top people I want to thank for sponsors. And then, of course, my wife. She takes care of me every day. Definitely my biggest sponsor.